Thanks for joining us today on Cece and Doc Talk, where we talk about everything under the sun. You never know quite what you're going to get, but you'll always be entertained. Welcome to this episode of Cece and Doc Talk. We are talking today about balancing the life wheel. This is actually an exercise that we do with a lot of our coaching clients because most of the time when people come to us for coaching, they find that they're out of balance in some way. And so this allows you to kind of look at your life in different parts and figure out a way to balance certain aspects.
So identifying areas that are important to you, but then also taking a look at, are you giving it the right amount of attention? Are you honoring that part that's important to you? And to reevaluate, maybe I thought it was important, but it's not important. That's why I'm not giving it time. Because when you say, I don't have time for something, what you're really saying is, it's not a priority.
Right.
And so we're going to take a look at these various areas, but let's describe the life wheel.
Absolutely. So what, and by the way, you can do this now, and it could be a snapshot in time, but you might do it again a year from now, and you might have different pieces of your pie. So first things first, grab a pen and a piece of paper, or your iPad and your iPad pencil, and hit the pause button. We'll wait for you. Go ahead. Okay. All right. So now what you're going to do is you're going to draw a big circle. And you're going to end up dividing that circle up like a pie. So you're going to have different pieces of pie. You might have 8 to 10 pieces in your pie. It depends on how big you like your pieces of pie. And
if you want to be an overachiever, yeah.
And Amy's going to share with it. You can divide up your pie however you want, but we're going to give you some suggestions of what you can put on your pie pieces.
Yep. And so here's some areas to consider. And so one is your work, your career, your job.
Yeah.
So that's one area. And I'm going to go through a whole, I'm just going to rattle off a bunch.
List.
Okay. So like health, fitness, and nutrition, fun, recreation, personal growth, family, money or finances, the physical environment, pets, animals, friends, travel, spirituality, security, significant other or relationships, rest, relaxation, religion, charity or giving, philanthropy, romance, music, hobbies, and volunteerism. It's a pretty extensive list.
It is a big list. And some people are going to have more pieces of pie than others. I mean, if you only have 5 pieces of pie, then you get a bigger pieces of pie.
You want me to read through them again really quickly?
No, I think we can.
All right, you can back up.
Because they can rewind.
Pause and go back.
They can go back 15 seconds.
Or come up with your own.
All right, so what we're going to let you do is we're going to give you a moment, hit pause
I might add
again.
adventure and freedom to mine.
Sounds great.
Okay.
What we're going to do is we're going to give you a moment, hit pause again, draw your big circle, divide up your pie, and add some of those categories to each piece, one category to each piece of pie that you feel like applies to your life at this point in time that you want to balance in your life wheel.
Yep. And then once you've done that, what you're going to do is you're going to either draw a line or from the inside out. And you're going to, from the inside means that you're giving it a low amount of attention. And up to the outside, the outer ring of the pie, is that you're giving it full attention. And so with each of the categories, each of the slices of pie, you draw a line where along in that shape, how much of attention, how much time am I spending currently on this area of my world? And so you kind of, let's say that I have health is important to me, it's on the list, but I'm really not eating right, I'm not doing any physical activity and all that, I would have that as this, right?
So you would go very close to the center
very
of the
close
pie,
to the center because I'm not really giving it any time.
And you might go out to what you would consider to maybe 10%, and then you'd shade in
and
that
kind of shade in
teeny,
that
tiny end of the pie piece.
But if I'm really focusing on my health and my nutrition and my fitness, then I could go all the way out and fill in that whole piece of pie.
Absolutely.
Or up to the 90th percentile.
Yeah,
or
think
whatever.
of it in terms of percentages. So you can kind of shade
just
in,
somewhere
shade
in there.
the amount of pie you're actually giving focus to.
Yeah, so family. Family is really important, but we haven't spent any time or energy or effort around family. Then we give it a smaller amount. If we spend a lot of time and effort and energy on family, then we would fill in that piece of pie. And so you want to do this with all of your pieces of the pie, and then you want to take a look at where is your wheel out of balance. Can it roll if it needed to, or does it kind of look like this clunky chunked up type thing? And then where do you want to, if you were to give yourself permission to spend a little bit more energy on one and a little less, or just, to be able to add energy to one, how would you balance out your wheel? How would you balance out your pie?
So first and foremost, where are you at now? Secondly, where are you out of balance? Third, where do you want to focus your attention?
And what's realistic?
Right. And then fourth would be, how are you going to focus your attention? What specific actions and behaviors can you put into play in order to focus your attention more in those areas that require more attention and are a little bit out of balance in your wheel, right?
Absolutely.
So again, balancing the life wheel. We use the pie analogy because I think it's just an easier visual for you, because we don't have a means to give you a graphic representation, but certainly the idea of a wheel or spokes on a wheel, like the big wagon wheel.
Yep, and there you have it. Dun, 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 dun. And so that's what you get. And so what's your current state? What's your future state? How are you going to get there? And are there self-limiting beliefs that are holding you back? Thinking, again, I don't have enough time, but really it's not a priority.
Oh, that's a good one. Yep. Write down any self-limiting beliefs you have and reframe those differently. Make them into positive statements instead of negative statements.
Yeah. And there's some questions that you can ask yourself. What's holding you back? Again, self-limiting beliefs. What paths should you be taking instead? Are there things you're tolerating? Are there things that you're sacrificing? How does money factor into this whole wheel? Are there other resources that you might need?
How is time impacting these choices and actions?
Mm-hmm. What are you willing to commit to? Even if you don't want to, are there things that you're willing to do? Because there's a big difference between wanting and willing to.
Yep.
And then, are there new habits that you want to create? Are there things that are getting you off track? How do you push past some of these obstacles?
And just know that if you do try to create a new habit, you're going to have to replace an old habit with a new. If you're trying to replace a bad habit, you're going to have to replace it with a newer, better habit, and it's going to have to be. You're going to have to do it for at least 21 days. 21 times in a row, not 21 days necessarily, but 21 times in a row to create a new habit. So know that old habits can't be just discarded. They have to be replaced with something else, something positive. The whole point of this exercise and why we do it with coaching clients is because at the very beginning of a coaching engagement, we do this with them so that they can get an idea of where they're at now, current state, where they're heading, where they want to be, what their ideal state is, and what's it going to take for them to get there?
I think I need to redo this now that I've recently retired, so I need to do this. Totally. But I need to, what's the first step in getting to where I want my wheel to be? And then the other thing,
read that one again.
What's the first step that I'm going to take to getting my wheel to where I want it to be?
Love that.
And then the other one, if I were to think out a year from now and look back, what will I regret if I don't start making it happen now?
Oh, see, that's a really good one. And you know what? I got another one. What's the worst that's going to happen if you stop paying attention to these things that shouldn't be getting your attention?
Yeah.
So the stuff that's getting all your attention that shouldn't be.
Really big piles.
What's the worst that's going to happen if you stop paying attention to the thing that should be inconsequential?
Absolutely. So it actually that comes down to is then what's a priority? What's important?
Yeah.
And so anyhow, I guess we'll end on that note, really looking at what's important, what's priority. And oftentimes what we think is important is not.
Absolutely.
So what is a priority is more the question.
And being that you just volunteered to do your own life wheel again, now that you've just retired, Doc, we will post a visual of your wheel on our Facebook and Instagram and our Twitter accounts at CC.
I was just saying I was going to do it. I wasn't actually going to do it.
Oh no, you're going to do the homework.
Now I'm going to have the accountability here.
Yep.
Ooh.
Yep. So we're gonna post a picture of her wheel on our CC and Doc social media pages, so you at least see an example.
All right. Wow.
Yep.
I have some work to do. Bye.
Have a great day. Thanks for tuning in to CC and Doc Talk. We'd love for you to follow us on social media at CC and Doc. That's CCNDOC. And you can visit our website at ccanddoc.com. We also take monthly donations to support this broadcast if you're so inclined. We'd love to hear your comments, suggestions, and questions, and we'll do our best to respond. Thanks, and have a fantabulous day.